Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the blonde Telecaster back on the bench today. Refer to the first video. We got it in and we checked it out, and we realized there was, the customer pointed it out to me, or I probably would have missed it, stain, where they stained the neck, the fretboard. They actually stained and put stain all over the frets as well. And it was starting to peel and come off. The only place it wasn't is where they crowned the frets at the factory. So let's get to work. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it and what we went through to get that stuff off. So beautiful little guitar. The frets, you see, it's a one-piece neck, skunk stripe. They put the truss rod in from the back, not on the top. It doesn't have a fretboard laminated to it. So nothing wrong with that. I mean, both designs work perfectly well. I tend to like these. My P bass is like that, one whole piece. So every one of the frets, you see the stain that they used on this, every one of the frets had the stain on it, and it had dried on there hard. And I tried a lot of different things. First naphtha, and then rubbing it off and cleaning it off with the fret erasers. And then I tried a little bit of sandpaper. I thought maybe it was on one side. Then when I got magnifying glasses and actually started looking close, it was on every side of the frets. So I realized that with my fingernail, it was actually flaking off, and that seemed to work pretty good until I wore my fingernail to a nub. And after many trial and errors, I realized that's what worked the best. I was looking around for a plastic razor blade, but I tried a couple of different types of picks until I found one, and I just rubbed it aggressively against each side, and it would start to catch it, and it would start to flake off. I'm going to tell you 99% of it's off. It made a hell of a mess, and it took some time. I then went through 3 steps of fret erasers to clean up the frets again. I would say 99% of it's gone. I don't think he's going to have any flaking issues anymore. He showed me when he pulled it out of the bag. He goes, "Look, there's these brown flakes all over it." And he pointed it out, and I looked at it, and yeah, sure enough, it was the stain. So he did some research, not me, because I don't have time to bother with that stuff. And said, "Yep, it's been a common complaint. It's all over the internet. It's a manufacturing flaw at the Mexican plant." Take that for what it's worth. I thought maybe it was just they were, saving time, saving time in the process to save money. So we're going to wipe it down. We're going to clean it up a little bit. I am going to oil the board because I was working on it so much. I'm going to oil the board, and we're going to wipe it down, clean it up, string it up, and set it up. Yeah. I like this guitar a lot. I like this one better than the red Telly he has, or had, I should say. I think he already either returned it or sold it, one or the other. A lot of stuff down in there. I cleaned it up as much as I could. That stain got all over every fret. I mean, and it was bad. It was bad. I didn't like it, and it was not fun. It was not fun. So I just want to treat the board because it is an exposed board. It's not clear coated. And this will also help, you can see, to take off the remaining metal from polishing the frets, the actual fret wires themselves. Yeah. And it'll certainly won't hurt the board. It's going to help it a lot. It's going to help it a lot. And we're going to wipe it all down and string it up and do a setup on it. I'm going to recommend to him that this one's a keeper. He tends to buy guitars, uses them for a little while, and then if he doesn't really fall in love with it, he sells them or returns them. Or I think this one is a keeper, despite the problem that we had with the frets. I don't care. I like this guitar. I like the way it looks. I like the way it plays. It's hot. It's almost a hot rod type guitar from the factory with these extra pickups, noiseless, extra pickup in the center, and noiseless pickups. Like it. Okay. Let's clean it up. I'm going to pause briefly while I finish wiping this guitar down in preparation for the setup. You don't need to watch that, but you've seen me do it a million times. You know, I do it on almost every guitar that I work on. When I say almost, I mean every guitar. So whether it's a hot rod or cheapie or whatever, stand by. So we got the strings through, and these are locking tuners. I'm going to show you one more time how these work. Pretty cool. There's a knob on the back. You loosen it just a little bit. Go to the next peg. If it's going to live here, you go to the next peg and cut it off. So you got maybe that much sticking through. And that should give you enough to go through the hole. Pull it back to where it just stops there. Tighten down your locker. Just snug. That's all. It doesn't have to be super tight. Just snug. Still want one wrap on there. And then follow that procedure. Until you get them all on. It sounds like a lot of wraps on there, but there's only one circle on there. This thing doesn't go that fast. One circle. And that's all it needs on the lockers. These are really nice tuners, and they're more stable, in my opinion, than a regular type of tuner where you're wrapping the string around and making sure you got 3 wraps and locking the string on. Beautiful. I might have to get me one of these guitars. And I'm not even a guitar player. I might get one for myself. And you see how much faster it goes with these type of lockers too? It's about half the amount of time it takes. And if you were using a, I had all these spun around there, what happened? Which must be losing my touch. About half the amount of time it takes to do it with conventional tuners. I like that. think I'd already done some minor adjustments on this when I had it before I destrung it. We should just need to do a quick setup on it. I know the string height is all over the map, so we got to pay attention to that. Plug in the tuner. One thing I'm not a fan of is the output jack here. They're recessed in. You can only put the straight one in there, which means you can't lean it up on its side when you're working on it. I know the intonation's a little off on, I think, either the D or the G string. I checked it the other day and it was not perfect. I like the string spacing on it. It's very, very accurate. Strings go right over the pole pieces. You got perfect spacing on the neck. And that is important. I had an American-made Strat on the bench the other day, or Tele, I mean. And, yeah, the E string went up here. It looked reasonably okay, but the farther down the neck it got, or up the neck, I should say, it was so close that it looked like it wasn't even on the fretboard. And if you tried to grab a note here, it ended up pulling the string right off. I tried to cock the neck and adjust it, but once that happens, there's just nothing you can do. It was set wrong, it was drilled wrong, and that's a shame. The guy never knew it, and I pointed it out to him. He's probably not happy about it. I don't know how you could play it and not know that, but I guess it's just one of them things he missed. Wasn't aware of it. So, sharp. The A is sharp. Okay, I'm going to do the intonation on this off camera. The A is sharp, and sharp means that the distance between the saddle and the nut, where those string rides over those 2 points, is too short. It's too close. So I need to pull that saddle back, and there's plenty of adjustment there. So I'm going to do that off camera because it is tedious and it's going to eat up some time because I want some video time left to finish it. So stand by. So we checked the neck relief. I did make a minor adjustment on that. Now we're going to get to doing the string height. I'm going to check that one more time, and that may be much closer now since we did put a little more relief in the neck. But let's see. Can't remember what size these are. Perfect. This should be the final adjustment. We got the intonation set. Yeah, since we put a little relief in it, the string height came up slightly. Bring up the spec. I like to see just above 4. Bordering 5/64. And 5/64 is not bad if you get to there, but make sure they're all the same. If you catch my meaning. And you want your saddles level to the body. Standard stuff. We do it the same on every guitar. You've heard me go on about it a million times. You should know by now. I like that. Yeah, I'm going to play with that just a bit more. Now I want to make sure that these are all straight and level. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all, actually. Not bad for the angle I was looking at it. Now we've got to retune it. Now, string height won't affect intonation and neck relief and all that, but it will affect the tuning because we moved the strings up and down, effectively either putting more tension or less tension on the saddle. So we have to retune it. And then that puppy done. Of course, the strings are going to have to stretch. They are brand new now. He didn't know what was on there. So instead of guessing, I measured them. They were 10s. He put 10s on it. But he didn't know what they were, how old they were, who knows. So we changed them. Now we know. I think we got her. Get the movie. No buzzing. I like this little guitar. She's a beaut. Plays like butter. And I'm not even a guitar player, as I I've said a million times, I only know enough not to hurt myself. We're going to call that a finished video. I like this guitar a lot. It's not only is it pretty, but it plays well, and it responded well to all the setup that we did on it. I'm going to recommend to this customer, who's also turning into a pretty decent friend of mine. We have a lot in common. That he keeps this one. I think it's a keeper. Blackjack 396 Guitars. We'll talk soon. Thanks for your support. And don't forget to subscribe.